I'm going to be reading excerpts from StratCom commander speeches this morning. All right? These people are so thrilled to death with the new stuff that they got to do. StratCom actually, before 9/11, was showing up on base closing lists. Now, I don't think it would have ever been closed, but people were saying, it's, you know, it's a weapon without a foe. Why do we need nuclear weapons any longer? Okay, we're the only superpower left on Earth. Okay, maybe we should be taking this puppy out. Because of 9/11, StratCom got a new infusion of blood. It took a new lease on life. All right. Now, not only do people think that you are talking about Dr. Evil, all right, they're going to be thinking that you're going to be talking about Big Brother, and they won't believe that. They're going to think that you're talking about Darth Vader, and they're going to think that this is all extreme, okay? But listen to these missions. Listen to these missions. I can't talk. Listen to these missions now, folks. These are the 8 missions of StratCom. Space, cyberspace, intelligence, surveillance, reconnaissance. That's all one. Full spectrum global strike. Information operations. Missile defense. Combating weapons of mass destruction. And of course the old standby, nuclear deterrence, which is what Jackie's going to be talking about a lot in her talk. All right, Loring will be talking about each of these specifics as we go along. But that's 8 missions, folks: space, cyberspace, intelligence, surveillance, reconnaissance, full spectrum global strike, information operations, missile defense, combating weapons of mass destruction, and nuclear deterrence. Did we leave anything out? Organizationally. Organizationally, what has happened to StratCom since 9/11 was described by the current StratCom commander, Kevin Chilton, as not a sea change in its role and mission, but a tsunami of change in its role and mission. A tsunami. All right? Here's what Commander Chilton said at his Assumption of Command speech last, no, I got it. This is what he said. This is what he said about his Assumption of Command speech when he became the new StratCom commander last fall. And he was talking to the Air Warfare Symposium just this past February. Quote, "I've got to confess, when I arrived at StratCom, I was a bit overwhelmed with the number of missions this command had. 8, they told me when I came in the door. I said, I think that might be more than we can handle. Who says we've got 8 missions? They said, well, that would be the President of the United States. And he does that through a thing called the Unified Command Plan. Here it is. There's a signature at the bottom, and there are about 4 pages in that thing that tell you what you're responsible for. I said, okay, I better read this. And I did. I read it several times. I've got to tell you, I'm still reading it regularly because there's so much in there. Then he goes on to say, I noticed that there was a common thread in everything we've been asked to do, and that is that every mission that we are given is global in nature. In fact, I thought, StratCom ought to be better named Global Command for all the reasons that we do so many global missions. Actually, StratCom, Strategic Command, is dinosaur language. That's a dinosaur description. They do that, plus they do that and so much more. This is what the current StratCom commander thinks they're up to. He thinks it's global command. And indeed, that's what the 4 sheets signed by the president tell him that it is too. And you know what? That's why you're here at the Global Network meeting today. Because we are dealing with a global command, and the only way that we're going to be able to confront these global missions from this global command center is with a global response. Not only can we here in Nebraska not do this on our own, I'm kind of here to tell you that we can't do it at all. Nebraskans love StratCom. I have 30 years of scars to prove it, all right? We are compromised up the wazoo on this issue. StratCom means jobs and good eating on the Pentagon gravy train to this state, okay? Worse than that, it's a form of state pride. People get puffed up with this recent satellite shoot down. Oh my God, that was page 1 of the Omaha World Herald every day. Look at what StratCom just did. Oh my God, we were walking tall. It was a beautiful thing, right? And then I can also tell you, as one of the reddest states in America, matter of fact, over the past 84 years, there is no more conservative state in the country than StratCom. The StratCom Cornhuskers. As one of the reddest states in the entire country, all right, I can tell you that Nebraskans are just obsessed about national security. I mean, StratCom makes us feel safe. Rather than looking at this from the perspective that makes us ground zero, the #1 target, and about 3 years ago, Nebraska published an article in our newspaper, the Nebraska Report, about how StratCom is strategically placed between an antiquated nuclear plant about 30 miles north, okay, and an antiquated nuclear plant 30 or 60 miles south. And if you draw Chernobyl-like circles, okay, if somebody were to ever, you know, launch a dirty bomb there or something like that, or if those places were to melt down or whatever like this, StratCom would be a ghost town. But we don't ever look at it that way. We think StratCom keeps us strong. We think StratCom keeps us safe. Now, we love what StratCom does for us economically. We love what StratCom does for us culturally. We love what StratCom does for us psychologically. That doesn't mean that everybody in Nebraska buys this dog and pony show. All right? There are lots of good people in Nebraskans for Peace. I can pledge you personally, for as long as I draw breath on this plane, I will continue working on this issue to the best of my ability. There are dozens of people inside Nebraskans for Peace. Many of them are here today who feel just like I do. We're going to do everything we can. But what I'm telling you is that we ain't enough. We can't do this by ourselves. We need national supporters. We need international supporters who are going to help explain to the rest of the world, both the coast, the broader planet, that StratCom is now waging the Bush-Cheney administration's war on terror. That's what we're doing. You want to know where the war room for the war on terror is? You were at it yesterday when you were at the StratCom gate. That's the war room. That's global.